Hello, Wanderers, and thanks so much for stopping by The Wayward Tree. My name is Luneth, and this reading is for the Libra Collective for the upcoming new moon. As with all general readings, please take what resonates and leave the rest for others. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, as well as let me know what you think in the comments below. So Libra, while doing the pre-shuffling for the decks, I had some impressions pop into my mind, so perhaps I'll just share it with you. I had the image of a sakura tree in full bloom. It's very pink and looking very vibrant. It feels like some of you are in bloom in a sense, or you are feeling good. Perhaps some of you may have recently begun a relationship, or you have begun a new stage of life. Maybe you just graduated or you moved out from home, but it just feels like you are in your optimum condition. Things seem pretty bright for you. For some others, I also feel I'm feeling a very sweet mood. I kind of heard someone saying you are very sweet natured, so perhaps someone is finding you very sweet, or vice versa, you are finding someone else being very sweet. Perhaps you're doing some sweet things, you're taking some actions to make others happy, or maybe even to cheer others up, especially with the current global situation. There's a lot of stress and tension going around, so maybe you are trying to be the one to cheer your friends or family members up. I also saw a golden spoon on something like a tea saucer, and that kind of makes me think about sweet treats, desserts. Maybe it's tea time for you somewhere, but it feels like you are trying to be optimistic in this stressful situation. So back to trying to make people happy, maybe you are treating your family members to some good food or some desserts to get their mood up, or maybe just doing simple things like sending some cheerful texts to maybe your friends or family, just to brighten their day. So those are some impressions that I got. It may or may not link with your main reading that I'm about to do for you. For this reading, I'll be using the Anima Mundi Tarot, and then I'll be following up with the Queen of the Moon Oracle, the Illuminated Earth Oracle, the Nocturnal Oracle, and then finish up with some cards from the Language of Flowers. So let's see what messages we have for the Libra Collective. The first card you have is the Four of Swords. The second card you have is the Eight of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. Three of Cups. Page of Cups. Sorry, Knight of Cups in reversed. The Lovers reversed. The Nine of Swords in reversed. Temperance in reversed. And the Five of Cups in reversed. Under the deck you have the Page of Wands in reversed. Okay Libra, it seems for some of you, you are currently feeling a bit sluggish, or feeling a bit defeated, especially with the Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck right here. You feel like you have lost your creative spark, or you're feeling a lack of inspiration or lack of motivation to move forward to do things. Okay, so starting from this side, Temperance in reverse is it's giving me the energy of things not sticking. It's like oil and water not being able to mix. The situation in which you want to happen was not able to come into fruition. So for some of you, it might be to do with career, the project that you were trying to push for, or the things you want to do to advance in your career was not able to manifest, or you did not see the fruits of your labor. So basically the project did not take form in a sense. So now you are feeling a little discouraged. For others, perhaps are trying to seek a connection. You were trying to reach out to them and took the initiative to whether to text them or to send them gifts or etc., but there wasn't really any response. You weren't able to form much of a connection. So it feels like because of that, you have gone into you have gone into some downtime. You're now in a state of healing. So with this Four of Swords, you're kind of resting a bit and gathering your energy, and because of this feeling rather discouraged, you are also speaking with some trusted friends about the situation. With this Three of Cups here, it feels like this seal is coming into these two friends to ask advice, or to seek some counsel. At the top position here, it's the Eight of Pentacles. Traditionally, it's about working on a craft, working to perfect something, practicing something very hard. But here, it's two beavers working on their dam. So it somehow feels like you trying to establish a connection with someone else. You're working on creating that connection. And so far, it seems to not have been very successful, and that has dampened your spirits a bit. With the Nine of Cups here in reverse, and I wouldn't say your heart has been broken, but you are certainly a bit down. You are having some doubts about yourself. You have stopped moving, and your heart is not as enthusiastic and vibrant as before. And it seems like you are also having a lot of fears here with the Nine of Swords in reverse. And currently your main motivation is to do your best to not have these worst case scenarios happen to you. You're trying to move out of this nightmare scenario as soon as possible. You're trying to get rid of all possibilities of these worst case scenarios happening. With the Queen of Swords here, it feels like it's asking you to perhaps seek counsel, which you have also sought with your friends here, but find someone who perhaps has more knowledge on the situation. If it's a work situation, perhaps find someone who is already much more established, and someone who is in a position in which you want to be in, and get their help. Because the Queen of Swords has clarity of mind and great knowledge of the subject. So if it's about relationships, find someone who you trust and who knows you well enough to give advice. With the Lovers here, the Queen of Swords is giving advice on how not to take actions that do not benefit you, how to make the more appropriate choice or the more positive choice that would bring you towards your end goal. And with the Five of Cups reversed here, it feels like you are just trying to get out of this weakened state. You are trying to get out of this grief, basically, because of this. I'm not sure if it's rejection or failure, or I wouldn't say failure, it's just things just didn't match up for you. So this sadness that you're experiencing, you're trying to get out of that. You're seeking help from others, and that's good. And if you're not seeking help from others, then this reading is telling you to do so. Get help from trusted people that have more experience, or at least a clearer point of view. Okay, Libra, that was quite a straightforward reading. So do your best to get out of this slump, because it's basically a lesson for you to learn how to either connect with others, or learning how to create pathways towards reaching your goal. Okay, so let's move on to, let's grab some cards from the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Sorry, just wanted to add, in relation to the previous messages or the impressions that I received regarding the sweetness and the you being in full bloom, perhaps that was before. Perhaps you were sweet on someone, you saw someone you liked, and you were trying to pursue them with sweet actions, and perhaps that didn't really work out. Another way of seeing it is perhaps currently you are in this slump, and you are maybe having some desserts to cheer yourself up, or someone else is giving you sweets or some desserts to lift your mood, so that you will have more energy to tackle this issue. Okay, card number 13, Will. Okay, this card, Will, it's basically about your free will to take any actions and make any decisions that you want, to choose any goal that you wish to pursue. So for one, perhaps it's saying to strengthen your willpower and keep your motivation towards achieving your goal. Another aspect that I'm seeing is that it's about the decisions that you made, the goal that you have chosen. Because of your free will, you have chosen that you want to take this path and you want to pursue this goal. Perhaps this is a chance to reevaluate that and question yourself why you have exercised your free will in this way. Why did you choose this goal? Is this the best goal that you can choose? Is it the best fitting goal for you at the current moment? Perhaps you can reevaluate it and maybe consider another goal that is more manageable or more within reach, and perhaps that goal is more suited for you. This is, of course, applies whether to work, to friendships, to family, to romantic connections. So consider the connections that you are thinking that you want, or the endeavors that you wish to pursue, and reevaluate them and see if it's something that you still want. And if it is, then you will have to muster up your willpower to pursue that. If you realize it's not, then you need to also exercise your willpower to change and go for another goal. Sometimes we are too set in one path, and we keep thinking that yes, this is the only goal for me. So it becomes very difficult to change path. So that in itself requires a lot of willpower from you as well. Okay, let's get another card. Ooh. Take one. Growth, card number 5. Yes, I think with this card, quite simply, it's telling you that this is an opportunity for growth, that you are feeling this way, that you are struggling with your decisions, is you growing to become a person that is more able to evaluate what you want and make decisions in life. Also, with this figure being a plant here, growth also requires nourishment and nutrients, and that requires you to be there to nurture the plant. So in a sense, it's also telling me that since you have chosen a certain path, you need to be prepared to put in the effort to ensure that there is consistent growth towards this goal. Otherwise, you'll be stagnant and there won't be any growth, and quite obviously you won't be able to reach the goal you have set for yourself. So in that way, this is also linking with will and willpower and determination. Her holding this clock here is also telling me that growth requires time. So it's telling you not to be too impatient. Perhaps you need to work longer on this. Together with this Eight of Pentacles is also a lot about consistent hard work, step by step towards perfection. So you cannot be too impatient. You cannot expect that people reciprocate your feelings immediately or projects working out immediately. So you need to be consistent in nurturing the growth towards that goal. Okay, let's get some cards from the Illuminated Earth Oracle. Attachment. Okay, what I'm seeing here is being too attached to your path, being too attached to your goal. So as mentioned before, evaluated your path and decided that the goal that you were pursuing is no longer what you want. Don't be afraid to change course and, you know, look for another goal. From another angle, the card is also telling you not to be too attached to the results. Again, back to free will. You can't force someone else to like you back. So if you are too overly attached to the result, you might end up suffocating the energies of the situation too much. You might end up suffocating the person that you are pursuing. So just like you see on this card, this person has this string wrapped around so very tightly around their body, and it's become so difficult to breathe. So it's telling you not to be too fixed on the idea of the result. Let things flow, and perhaps the situation might shift to allow a result that is much more better suited to you. So I guess it's also saying to go with the flow and not be too dead set on that path and keep hammering down that path and not letting the whole situation breathe. Doing that is going to make it very difficult for you and also the people around you. Okay, so another card. We have two cards. One is path and one is support. Your path, again, the path towards your goal requires all this growth, requires willpower to push. I'm sort of repeating myself already, but and not being too attached to the path. Be ready to veer, be ready to change if you need to. Let things flow, but at the same time, be strong enough to move forward as well. There's a lot of balance that you need to keep here. Being strong enough to move forward, being consistent enough to keep yourself motivated, and not being too attached to the results. Support here is reflecting the support that you are receiving from your trusted friends and this more experienced person here. So don't be afraid to reach out for support when you need to. Basically, no man is an island. Okay, so let's get a card. Oh, not a card. 3 cards from the Nocturnal Oracle. Grasshopper. For the Libra Collective. Okay, with kelp, moth, weeping willow, and pitcher plant. Okay, with the grasshopper, it's telling me that, or at least it's telling you to move forward, because the grasshopper leaps forward, to take a leap of faith, basically. And I'm being drawn to the power that is stored within the legs of the grasshopper before it jumps forward. So it's asking you to take that leap of faith, but after you have gathered your willpower, after you have gathered the necessary advice and straighten out your thoughts, after you are ready, basically. So now is the time for you to now is the time for you to seek counsel, get advice, and kind of recover your spirit and your inspiration and your energy. And then when you're ready, to not be afraid to move forward on your path. With the kelp and the moth, it's telling me to not burn yourself out, because the moth easily gets attracted by a flame and ends up burning to death in the flame. So not be too fixated on the path, because with the kelp as well, it's saying to not get too entangled in the situation, and to let things be more, basically to go with the flow, as I mentioned before, to not be too attached, to so fixated on the path that there's no room to breathe, there's no room to flow. It's only going to make things difficult for you. Okay, with the weeping willow and the pitcher plant, it's telling you not to get trapped in your sorrow. It's telling you not to stay in this slump for too long, and not to get too comfortable in it, because you'll end up, this sorrow and grief will end up eating you from the inside. It's good that you are asking for advice, it's good that you are seeking counsel, and if you are not, perhaps you can consider that. Okay, so for the last part of this reading, I'll be getting some cards from this Language of Flowers. Some flowers for Libra, please. Okay, anemone, optimism, geranium, virality. Okay, and nasturtium, grounding. Okay, yeah, so you have anemone, geranium, and nasturtium. Sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but with this, it's asking you to ground your feelings, ground your sorrow, come back to center. You're currently in a slump, you're currently in a bad mood, currently experiencing a lot of sadness and grief. Process those things, do what you need to do to cheer yourself up, and let go of these emotions, because those will not serve you, those will not help you to move forward. Instead, be more optimistic, look at the bright side of things, and not be afraid of what comes, not be afraid of any challenges that you may face. And with geranium, it's telling you to shake it up a little. You've got this. Not be afraid of change, not be afraid to make changes, not be afraid to be the one to initiate change. Basically what I've said before, not be afraid to change your path if needed, not be afraid to change anything about yourself if needed. Basically do what is needed to help you progress in your path. Okay, Libra. So I do hope you get out of this slump soon and you get all the support, advice, counsel, encouragement, and all the sweets and desserts that you need to regain your energy again. Okay, so this is the end of the reading. I do hope that I was able to bring you some encouragement and positivity as you move forward. If the reading resonated with you, please do drop a like, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel as well as comment below to let me know what you think. Thanks again for stopping by, and I hope I'll see you soon.